to help keep Jacksonville in this game. Tua Tagovailoa returning after being out for 3 games with the rib injury. Played well, but just not as well as he would have liked. 329, 2 touchdowns, had an interception there. Was a big game for Jalen Waddle, 10 catches, 70 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Remember, there was no Devontae Parker or Will Fuller in this game, and Mike Gesicki also helped him do the heavy lifting, 8 catches, 115 yards for him. James Robinson had a touchdown in the game. Marvin Jones had a touchdown in the game, but Trevor Lawrence getting his first win, 319 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 11 yards rushing. He was certainly happy talking with our own Melanie Collins after the game.
Well, Trevor, it only took you 4,500 miles and a last-second field goal to finally break that 20-game losing streak. You get your first win of the season. How did you guys do it today?
We just stayed together. You know, there was ups and downs. That's what we're all learning. We got a young team, and every game there's going to be ups and downs, and you're going to have to play a complete game to win. And we did that today. You know, no matter what, we got down by 10 early. We came back, fought back, had a turnover. Defense got one right back. Just playing together, I think that's the biggest thing. And just we knew when we got another chance, we were going to go win the game. And I think that confidence is starting to build within our locker room.
And what a day for your kicker, Matthew Wright. A 54-yarder, then a 53-yarder to win it. What was going through your mind when that kick went up?
Shoot, for the first one, I didn't know. It looked short and then barely got in. And then the second one, I knew he was going to make the second one. It was almost identical. Had confidence in that guy. It's crazy. He was just like a software engineer a couple weeks ago. Gets called up, and he just makes the game-winning kick to break this losing streak. Huge win for our city, our locker room. We're so excited.
Marvin, describe that celebration on the field when that kick went through the uprights.
Amazing. It's an amazing feeling, you know. Obviously we've been through some battles, but we persevered, and that's all we were talking about is being resilient because we put good games together, and it was all about finishing. So that celebration, I mean, there's nothing like it. So we just we have something to build on, and we have to keep going.
What was the mindset coming into this week, knowing it was a very unconventional week, going up against another team desperate for a win?
Well, that's what it is. The NFL is unconventional. You never know what you're going to get, week by week, the ebbs and flows of the game, and that's what we always talk about is perseverance, keep going through that, just because it was an awkward week. I know all of us are sleep deprived, probably, I was up, but I mean, what a great atmosphere to come in here and put everything together, and, defense helped us at the end to get the ball back. This guy made some pinpoint throws. Everybody was playing complimentary football, so it was amazing.
Well, you guys enjoy the bye week. Jags in the win column. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
So the Jaguars snapped their 20-game losing streak, and you see, longest losing streaks all time. Jacksonville no longer has to worry. That streak is now over. Snapped against the Dolphins. First win since week 1 of the 2020 season when they upset the Indianapolis Colts. They had to go to London to snap the streak, but they get the win, beating the Dolphins 23-20. For more on this game, we now bring in Mr. Jacksonville himself, Pete Prisco. So, how good does this feel for the Jaguars to finally get this win? For Urban Meyer, his first win. Trevor Lawrence, his first win. Is this now the start of something, or did they just take advantage of a bad team in a different country?
Well, no, they played well. For them, I mean, they played well. Trevor Lawrence is going to be a star. We saw that. He doesn't have a lot of weapons outside. He made play after play after play when he had to make them. And kudos to the kicker. I mean, like he said, he was a software engineer. They went through this whole kicking competition leading into the game, and they decided to keep him and not Josh Lambo. And now he's their kicker. I mean, 53-54, game winner at the buzzer. You have to keep him. But this is a good first step. They're not going to win a lot of games this year. They have to build together as a team, get better. They have to get faster. They're slow outside, and that shows up weekly.
Did they turn the page a little bit after the whole Urban Meyer thing from Thursday night, Cincinnati a couple weeks ago? They had go through the game against Tennessee. They go now and they get their first win. I know things are not still obviously as settled as they would like to be, but is now they focus more on the field than the football aspect of things. That Urban gets his win, Trevor gets his win. Now some positive vibes in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and here's the other thing that flipped. They've had problems in the second half of games. They led Arizona by 9 late in the third quarter of their game against them a couple weeks ago and blew it. And this is the first time where they've played better in the second half. So I think that's a step in the right direction.
Do they have their identity? Is it Trevor Lawrence passing game, or is it James Robinson run game?
No, it's both. It's both. And they want to be able to throw the ball. And today they did both. He ran for 73 yards. He threw for 319. You'd like it to be 100 and maybe 330, but they're getting there.
And the other side of the ball, Tua comes back, but this team is clearly a very, very bad Dolphins team. They had playoff aspirations. They thought this was going to be the year. Tua was their guy. I don't know how much you want to factor in the games that he missed, but this offensive line's been a disaster. The run game is non-existent, and the defense has really struggled. Now, they didn't have Byron Jones. They didn't have Xavier Howard in this game. They're also missing their top 2 wide receivers, at least on paper, with Devontae Parker, Will Fuller. Where do the Dolphins go from here?
Yeah, that's a good question. And you mentioned the offensive line. They've had a lot of capital invested in that and it hasn't improved. And that's a problem. When you spend a lot of draft capital to fix a position and it doesn't get fixed, that's a major problem. Tua did some good things today. I thought he was okay coming back after the injury. He looked like he was, sure enough of himself throwing into the middle of the field, which is progress. Wasn't great, wasn't bad. Threw a terrible interception. Defensively, they don't rush the passer. That's a problem. And they didn't have their corners. You're not going to win a lot of games that way.
Is Brian Flores in trouble?
Yes, I think he is. I mean, we'll see how they respond. And they play next week. It's not like they got a bye week. Let's see how they respond. If they respond well, kind of get going again, then maybe not. But right now, you would say yes.
But the excuses have to be done at this point because you said, okay, they lose Tua in week 2. Buffalo probably going to lose that game anyway. Lose the overtime game against the Raiders. They competed, but that's on the road. They lose that matchup. The Colts game, they lose. Now this game in London, they lose to Jacksonville, winless team, 20 straight losses for them coming in. I mean, this is a bad look for this franchise.
It's a bad loss for Miami. There's no doubt about it. And you talk about the injuries, the 2 wide receivers, those guys are always hurt. I mean, if you bring guys who are always hurt into your building, and granted, they didn't bring both those guys in, but Fuller they brought in, you're going to have guys who are hurt, miss games, and that's what happened here.
So Tua step forward, though, in your mind?
He played okay. It wasn't great, it wasn't bad. It was just okay. The interception was awful. And they had a chance early in this game. This is the difference between a good team and a bad team. A good team early in the game dominates and goes up 17-0. They didn't. They kept Jacksonville in the game, and it was a game at halftime when they went off the field.
All right, so we'll see what happens again. The Dolphins blowing a 20-17 lead, 2 field goals by Matthew Wright, a 54-yarder and a 53-yarder to win the game as Jacksonville snaps its 20-game losing streak, getting the first win for Urban Meyer, first win for Trevor Lawrence in the NFL. Don't forget to check out Inside the NFL. Tune in for the expert insights, exclusive commentary, and special on and off the field features from the hardest hitting team of analysts in football. This season's panel includes hosts James Brown, along with Phil Simms, Brandon Marshall, Ray Lewis, Michael Irvin, and the newest addition to Inside the NFL, Julian Edelman. Stream new episodes of the Emmy Award-winning studio show Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, exclusively at Paramount+.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.